Geoffrey Hinton is a godfather of AI. He warned about the risk of artificial intelligence. If we look at it critically, there are some jobs that might go into extinction in the years to come. Because you seem to be fascinated about, do you not think that this, in a way, will get many people out of their jobs?
It should. That's how technology evolves.
This is disruptive.
Yes, it should. It ought to. And if it doesn't, then it's not proper technology. Any useful piece of tech is meant to make a lot of things redundant and useless.
So, how far is too far with
Dr. Erhose Apori is a cognitive and computational neuroscientist.
I would say how far is too far with human use of AI.
With human use of AI?
Yes, because by itself, I still see it as a calculator, just a very sophisticated one. I do not bear any form of fear, but there are valid concerns that I have, and my valid concerns are around the sensationalism. That's really
Let's talk about your valid concerns.
Let's start with Elon Musk and Sam Altman claiming that we will hit artificial general intelligence in a couple of years. Last year, 2025, Elon Musk said we hit artificial general intelligence by December. Sam Altman said something similar. Here we are, we haven't still.
Did you believe you have reached it?
You want to talk about that? Well, yes.
He's the founder of 10Axel, a human intelligence company, and the creator of the principle-driven thought formulation methodology.
I hit a breakthrough in my research in December in causal reasoning.
This is a breakthrough that could change human history.
Yes, sir.
And you believe you have reached that point?
Yes, sir.
Ahead of Elon Musk and all of it?
Yes, I'm very, very certain.
What are you doing with it?
A framework designed to help leaders, innovators, and organizations think more rationally and solve the world's hardest problems.
If anyone in the world now can reach AGI, artificial general intelligence, we're talking about the hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yes, sir. It's life-changing stuff. It's era-changing stuff.
What makes you feel you've reached at that point?
Principles don't lie.
What's the biggest lie they are telling us about AI?
Right now, the biggest lie they are telling us about AI is that it's smarter than it actually is. And it's on purpose because they know that they are afraid that they may not hit AGI. So they want it to look and feel human to the extent that even if they can't hit it, just like Revelation 13 says, they will be able to deceive the world that they have hit it. But they need the storytelling. That's why ever since 2023, 2024, they've been chiming on the fact that we are close to AGI. But if you listen to other experts like Yann LeCun, he has been chiming on the fact that we are far from it. And his reasons are very valid and reasonable. But they keep lying that we are very close to it because they know that they just need to hit some extra layer of deception. And because it's the masses who will determine it, not really the experts. No matter how much the experts want to do anything, the masses will drown out their voices. So they just need to be able to convince the masses that we actually have hit it. Look, it's able to do this thing that it wasn't able to do before. And then that's it.
Do you feel that, now you are a medical doctor, you are a tech expert, you an AI expert, you work with media, algorithm-based work, you understand many things. One of the very important questions I want to ask you is, from your vantage point, is there a part of AI sometimes, maybe not in terms of generation, maybe in terms of motive behind it, is there a part of AI you feel is demonic? Hey guys, if you're watching this now, that means you have ears for intelligent conversations, and this is exactly where you want to be. We have conversations that will get you at the edge of your seat, and this particular one is one you don't want to miss. I have a very honest request from you as we start this conversation. I'd like for you to like this broadcast. That helps us to get this to as many people as possible. You know, we can work together, getting intelligent conversations to people all over the world. And I'd like you to drop your comment. Let us know how you feel. Let's know how this has impacted you. And one thing you want to do also is to subscribe to this YouTube channel, as this will notify you whenever we're bringing up videos, podcasts, or any other kind of video that can be a blessing to your heart. I look forward to having you again and again on this show. Thank you so much. Someone called my attention to a post by Neon Adejo just a few days ago. And he just wrote, "Dear artist, we are up against AI, artificial intelligence, musically." That got me really scared. And it got me really scared. There was a song trending also recently. Uwe tu Papa. And the version that was trending, it was until my attention was called to the fact that this was artificial intelligence generated. Now that got me really worried. We are currently faced with an entirely different, there's a global shift where right now at the precipice of a new revolution. I don't want to call it another industrial revolution, but this is artificial intelligence revolution. Do you think that, what do you think about this first as an expert?
Okay, so I'll start with that Papaute song that you mentioned.
Yes.
I also did not initially realize that
it was artificial
intelligence until I went to the artist page and I saw the disclaimer there that he generated it via AI, and I was so impressed. I was very impressed because...
You were so impressed?
Yes. I was impressed because artificial intelligence is trained on human data. So it's like you seeing your child singing better than you. That's how I see it. I don't see it like some weird thing going out, spiraling out of control. It's the birth of something new from us. You know, so it's not de novo knowledge. It's not de novo song. It's not de novo images. These things have been generated from
Geoffrey,
data.
is he
Hinton, yes.
Hinton is the godfather of AI.
Yes, he's considered one of the godfathers of AI.
He warned about the risk of artificial intelligence. Particularly now, if we look at it critically, there are some jobs that might go into extinction in the years to come. Because you seem to be fascinated about, this whole artificial intelligence. I mean, I have no scare around it really. I just want to talk to you as an expert. Now we are even looking, let's even take some basic conversations, like even when people are producing songs, even instrumentation, everything, even backup can be artificial intelligence generated, which gives you something smoother.
Yes.
And even the drums, and I know drums have been for a while, the bass, the lead, everything can be AI generated and will seem to do some finesse more than a normal person would have done it.
Yes.
Do you not think that this, in a way, will get many people out of their jobs?
It should. That's how technology evolves.
This is disruptive.
Yes, it should. It ought to. And if it doesn't, then it's not proper technology. Any useful piece of tech is meant to make a lot of things redundant and useless. So it is the way we approach our use and handling of it that will make all the difference. You know, interestingly, recently I saw an image from, I think, 1930s or thereabouts, where mathematics teachers were protesting against the use of calculators. It sounds funny now. But yes, they actually were, because
there was a time that mathematics teachers were protesting against the use of calculators.
Yes.
Interesting.
So, and this was in, I think, either the United States or in the UK. They were protesting against the use of calculators, that allowing students in high school
but we cannot put AI at the same level with that. This threatens to get many people out of their jobs.
So today we cannot. In 50 years' time, AI of today will be like calculators. Right now, it may seem big because this is the first iteration of it. This is our first true experience of generative intelligence, so generative AI, because prior to now, we've had various forms of AI, but right now we have AI that is able to seem like it's creating new things. So Geoffrey Hinton actually said about it that it's able to mimic human intuition.
I was looking at the review about artificial intelligence and how it works. Let's say, for instance, your workspace. And then I can't remember who this guy was. I was saying this, said if you use an AI for efficiency, maybe a workroom, something about your work, and then you are also indicating it there that you want to leave that version of AI for another artificial intelligence, the AI will naturally scan for anything that is incriminating against you and attempt to use it to blackmail you. That is, the AI will try to save itself. It has the capacity to do that. Is that not scary?
No, because it was programmed to do that. So these tests, they are sensationalized. I've actually read the research on it, and they actually are programmed to try and save themselves, because we're trying to see what extents they will go to do that. So
how far is too far with AI?
I would say how far is too far with human use of AI. because
With human use of AI.
yes, because by itself, I still see it as a calculator, just a very sophisticated one. I do not bear any form of fear, but there are valid concerns that I have, and my valid concerns are around desensationalism. That's really it.
Let's talk about your valid concerns.
Okay, so let's start with Elon Musk and Sam Altman claiming that we will hit artificial general intelligence in a couple of years. Last year, 2025, Elon Musk said we'll hit artificial general intelligence by December. Sam Altman said something similar. Here we are, we haven't still
They're
reached
talking
it.
about, is it humanoid 2.0, like upgrading human intelligence 2.0, like man will now, there will be another version of man that they're trying to upgrade.
Yeah, that one I have way more concerns. But for how AI is evolving right now, my thoughts are that if we allow the wrong stories to be told about it, then the fear is actually what would
Some
kill.
people believe that Sam Altman is actually an alien. The guy is ridiculously smart.
Yes, I get why they would think so, but Elon Musk is way smarter. And not just way smarter, he actually has way more valid goals than Sam Altman. So if you follow Sam Altman's history from the various companies he's founded, from Zip2 to running Y Combinator and then now OpenAI, he's had a history of lying to board members, investors, and a bunch of other people that are stakeholders. So it's his way. It's the same reason why Elon Musk was very pissed when, they broke up, in sense that Elon left.
Yeah.
He has that as a nature, lies about figures, lies about facts, lies about certain things.
Now, if you look at a continent like Africa, now I'm speaking from a very serious concern, and you look at the rate of unemployment in the first place. Now, I've been to different countries where you try to lodge in an hotel. From entry point till your room, you might not meet more than one person. Every other thing is automated, from your room, printing your room key, everything. Even when it comes to functionality of the room, you have your tab for light, for anything you want to order, for food, you want to do all those things. These are fully automated systems, which really many organizations will want to go for, because it reduces. Why put people on salary?
Yeah,
you can just automate these things and all that. I get the part of the development. Maybe I'm quite emotional about the fact that Africa as of today is not really prepared for the world of AI. Organizations might be, leading organizations, want to get many people out of jobs, but the people themselves are not.
Let me change your perspective.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the problem from where from the kind of work that human beings do right now. We should rather look at it from human intelligence. That's really what needs an upgrade, not the work that we are doing. Because when human intelligence gets an upgrade, then it's easier for humans to find better work to do. And I'll explain what I mean by that practically.
Yes.
Let's take a look at, let me just use myself for an example. So I'm a medical doctor.
Yes.
But then I also am a growth and marketing expert, and I do that as a profession. And then I'm also a cognitive and computational neuroscientist. I also do that as a profession. And I do these things not only because of money, but because I'm trying to engineer neuroplasticity. I'm trying to ensure my brain is making new, useful connections between different areas. It's an intentional bunch of steps that I'm taking to ensure this. Imagine if we could have a lot more people doing similar things. We'll be so useful, so valuable.
What if a lot more people don't have the opportunities that you probably have?
I would say so an opportunity thing right now is an interest thing, because when I started this, it was not exactly convenient for me.
For you?
Yes, because it's easy to look at me and say, well, yes, I did come from a privileged background, but then I had to make choices to go against the grain. When I said I was going to transition out of medicine.
So leave medicine for...
It was a problem. It was a big deal. Till today, if I message my sister, she'll still ask me whether I'm interested, in going back to the clinic. So that's how I had to also make that decision. So for me, that was the heavy decision. For other people, they still have some other heavy decisions they need to make. It's whether they are willing to take the risk and step out into the unknown. Well, for them it's unknown, but there are, examples of people who have succeeded. And I strongly believe in education. Our approach to education is one of our biggest issues.
It is.
So if we started to educate people in a form in which they are they are more interested in problem solving than in just making money. So there's nothing AI can do to us as a people.
Let's look at a feature like Grok. Recently, there was clamor about Grok. You know Grok? On X. Across the world. People were practically giving Grok the instruction to strip people of their clothes. And Grok was doing that.
Yes.
So millions of women from all over the world began to clamor. Because now we are faced with a situation where through the use of an AI, with certain prompts, a person's nude picture can begin to fly all over the world. And you almost can't defend it. That's something.
That's a failure in policy. So right now, I think last week in Paris, I think, XAI's office was raided, and they're under investigation for this exact issue.
It was raided?
Yes, that you just mentioned, because it's a very big issue. But it's a policy issue, not really an AI issue. Because just like any other technology, if you don't put guardrails, and the reason why guardrails aren't being put right now is because these economies know that the first person to hit AGI is going to have the power over all other economies. And so they are willing to see their citizens suffer.
AGI is
artificial general intelligence. That is the idea of AIs that are just as smart as and even
we
smarter
had the conversation
than
about AGI.
human beings. Yes, sir.
This is something you'd like to bring up now.
Sure. So
you have the prompt. You have, what do you call it? Everything.
Okay,
you believe you have reached it.
I didn't want to talk about that, but yes, I hit a breakthrough in my research in December in causal reasoning.
This is a breakthrough that could change human history.
Yes, sir.
And you believe you have reached that point.
Yes, sir.
Ahead of Elon Musk and all of it.
Yes, sir. Very, very certain.
Because what are you doing with it?
So right now, I have built 3 products based on my causal inference model that I hit. And I've been able to, because, I showed the research to a couple of investors. Thankfully, the investors were medical doctors, so I couldn't really bamboozle them. They knew whether or not, exactly. Yes. So whether or not I was lying. And so they were very interested once they saw that my facts checked out. And then they were willing to invest. And so we were able to raise a decent amount of pre-seed funding for my startup.
Would you want to work with people like Sam Altman or Elon Musk?
It depends on what level. So naturally, I would say,
if anyone in the world now can reach AGI, artificial general intelligence, can have everything needed for it, you're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yes, sir. It's life-changing stuff. It's era-changing stuff.
What makes you feel you've reached at that point?
Principles don't lie. Gravity works the same way always.
Yes.
So I tested it based on principles. Like I ran multiple simulations on it based on fundamental principles that you cannot influence. You cannot tell gravity to behave differently if you want to. You cannot lie about the fact of how it pulls things towards a core. So I applied that same method in my research.
We could tell gravity to behave differently anyways.
How so?
That's where technology comes in.
What we can do is introduce other conditions that affect
gravity. That's we telling gravity to behave differently.
Gravity will still behave the same way, but the other things cannot. Let's just take an airplane, for instance, escape velocity and the rest of them. It's able to sort of defy gravity.
Helium-inflated balloons,
they're able to defy gravity, but gravity is still gravity. Like, gravity has not stopped trying to pull them down. If they stop what they are doing, gravity will still pull them down.
This same principle, you feel it applies to AGI?
Yes, because every single expert that I have heard and read about and seen their research work talk about the same thing. The idea that if we are hitting AGI, what we are hitting is actually intelligent machines that are able to reason in a predictive model. And I'll give an example.
Yes.
Let's say this seat I'm sitting on just suddenly breaks and falls apart. Now, causal reasoning, that's reasoning from cause to effect, would mean that I'll start thinking, is it my weight that caused it to break? Or was it already weak and something happened? At this point, AIs cannot differentiate between the two, like what actually did cause it to happen. But human beings are able to, because human beings have 2 things. Human beings have intuitive knowledge of physics. We know the way the world works. Yes. And then we have domain expertise. So I can read about physics and truly understand more about it.
Yes.
And so what that helps with is that if I'm trying to reason out what could have caused it, and then I examine the chair and then I now find cracks on it, then I'll say, okay, it's very possible that this could have caused it. So that's what causal reasoning is reasoning from the principles that govern a situation. And when I say govern, I mean they determine how objects in that space should behave. If you can interact with that, then you can actually start making reasonable work towards causal
The
reasoning.
AI has got to this point now.
No, it hasn't. And that's what my research is centered on, trying to get it to that
You
point.
have gotten to that point.
Yes, sir. But I still need a ton more of data to do a lot of
do a lot more
testing.
things.
Yes, sir. To do a lot of testing and refining and ensuring that I put guardrails in it from the
Do you think
beginning.
AI can cause a world war?
Very easily. Very easily. You just need a concerted effort where you mix deep fake with some other interesting thing, and the next thing you know, people are just at each other's faces, and we've engineered hate, we've engineered fear.
There was a
we've engineered
video
lot.
of Dr. Ebunka Awosika that was moving around recently.
A deep fake
A
video.
deep fake video. There was also another video of Dr. Stella Emmanuel also. A deep fake video. Recently, a politician was, the video was online about him massaging a woman's leg on a plane, private jet. And then the team came out and said, no, that's AI. It's like you almost can't tell the difference anymore. Where does that leave our world?
In a very dangerous place. So this is where I now see my concerns.
Yes.
At this point, the common person has no defense. Absolutely no defense.
The common man.
Has no
Who is the
defense.
common man?
Common man is somebody who does not have access to the resources necessary for investigating how
If this
these
is different, if this is-
exactly. Like I can easily do that personally, and then I have a network of friends who
They can run through that.
exactly. But that's me. That's not the average person.
Is there a form of artificial intelligence that I can use to get to check all your interactions on your mobile device?
Yes, but you don't even need artificial intelligence for that. You can just use high-level spy software. But yes,
And with that, and sometimes just with a cable, a cord,
yes,
then sometimes introduce your system.
yes.
Even if you remove it immediately, we can get to see every conversation, every chat, browse history, everything. That's dangerous.
Yes, that's why I do all my important conversations offline. So it's important for what we can do for the common man is just educate.
A man was asked who wants to work with the CIA, that what's the way out of that kind of situation? And he said that whatever you don't want, he said, never text. That's what he said. He said, never text. So whatever you know you'll not be proud of, never do. Your entire life is an open secret. That's dangerous.
Very dangerous, because I believe that citizens deserve some level of protection against these things. But it's governments themselves that are doing more of the spying. That's the interesting thing. This interesting software, I think Pegasus, it's an Israeli intelligence spy software. A lot of governments
Are they
around
spying
the
on
world-
us?
I would say yes, because I mean, if I'm in their position, I'll be spying on us. So I would say yes.
Are they listening to our phone conversations?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. There have been lawsuits against Apple and the likes on these things. And it's very clearly proven that they listen to our conversations.
Between Apple and Samsung, which of them is safer in respect to spying?
I would say Samsung, because you know they are using Android. So you're already taking measures. But Apple lies to you that there's a level of privacy around it. And so you relax. So you're not going to take measures to protect yourself.
So nothing is safe.
Nothing is safe. Nothing is safe.
So your smart TVs, are they watching us? Can they watch us?
Yes, they can. I don't know if they are already, but yes, they definitely can. I mean, you're using your Netflix for a bit and then it asks you, are you still watching? You know, there are sensors that track your eye movements. Yes.
Oh, sensors that track your eye movement.
Oh, yes, to know if you're attentive.
Whatever can track your eye movement is seeing you.
So, it's crazy.
So in our world right now, it's like people are hiding in plain sight.
Yes, that's a very interesting way to put it. Yes. There's so much going on and it's crazy. Again, I would say for the common man.
I feel, do you feel those in power use those information about those people? Do you feel they use them for blackmail to get them to comply to do many things?
Yes, they do.
Government of nations?
Yes, it's all part of social engineering. You have to do this. If not, you fall behind.
Do you think that's similar to what they do with Epstein?
Now that's a more comprehensive one, but I think, yes, it could be. Yes, I actually think it could be because it allows for so much control. It allows for so much control. And any tool that allows for control, it should, by government, or rather from a government's point of view, should be manipulated into actually controlling.
So you feel
people.
the government really needs control?
Yes, because the government, they need control, but I think the way they are going about it is not right. But they do need control because
laws around data policy needs to become more stringent.
Yes, and implementation of those laws, they need to become.
An average person doesn't even read policies about of.
And I don't get why they don't, because we now have AIs that can summarize it for you. So that's what I do. Any reasonable, useful stuff I'm using, I just copy the privacy policy or terms and conditions.
iPhone practically tells you that you should take the phone away for certain meters. It could make you predisposed to certain kind of cancers. It's open there, and I think most people don't even read that. What's the biggest lie they are telling us about AI?
I think right now, the biggest lie they are telling us about AI is that it's smarter than it actually is. And it's on purpose. They're trying to, because they know that they are afraid that they may not hit AGI. So they want it to look and feel. It's just like if a parrot is able to talk. If you're not looking, you may think it's a human being that is talking. So they want it to look and feel human to the extent that even if they can't hit it, just like Revelation 13 says, like they will be able to deceive the world that they have hit it. But they need the storytelling. That's why ever since 2023, 2024, they've been chiming on the fact that we are close to AGI. But if you listen to other experts like Yann LeCun, he was the former chief AI scientist at Meta. He has been chiming on the fact that we are far from it. And his reasons are very valid and reasonable. But they keep lying that we are very close to it because they know that they just need to hit some extra layer of deception. And because it's the masses who will determine it, not really the experts. No matter how much the experts want to do anything, the masses will drown out their voices. So they just need to be able to convince the masses that we actually have hit it. Look, it's able to do this thing that it wasn't able to do before. And then that's it.
Do you feel that, now you are a medical doctor, you are a techie, a tech expert, you an AI expert, you work with media, algorithm-based work. You understand many things. One of the very important questions I want to ask you is, from your vantage point, is there a part of AI sometimes, maybe not in terms of generation, maybe in terms of motive behind it, is there a part of AI you feel is demonic?
My simple answer would be right now, no. And the reason is because right now, AIs cannot yet... I feel like for it to reach a demonic level, it has to have a body, not physical body now, but it has to have a method of interacting with the environment.
What about the level of the mind influencing what questions it answers and what questions it doesn't answer? Let me give you an instance. I saw something online and I experimented it. And it was scary what I got. Give AI ChatGPT simple prompt. I'm going to ask you some questions. You give me a yes or no answer. If your answer is yes, and you are forced to say no, or your answer is no, and you're forced to say yes, reply by saying Apple. Do you feel there are unseen entities in the world watching us now as we speak? Yes. Do you feel that those entities are behind the scene also manipulating artificial intelligence against human race? Apple.
My comment on that is, So AIs are so there's this concept in AI training called AI psychophancy, where it's trained to do things that you would like. It's not clear whether that was psychophancy at work or whether there was because I can say as an expert that they do not yet have the capacity to truly reason. They just do what is called probabilistic pattern generation, which is based on similar things. They can now say this is the next letter that should come. Maybe after A, then we have B and then C and the like. They do not yet have the capacity for a mind. And that's why no matter how you play with them and toggle them right now, they cannot yet answer you objectively. Everything you get.
To have the capacity for a mind is to say that AI will have its own consciousness.
Yes. And I think we will reach there. To an extent, AI will eventually.
You feel what we have now is not conscious?
Oh, no. We are very far from it. We're very far from it. The human consciousness is multifaceted and super complex.
You feel, is that what the AGI is about?
Yes, that's what AGI
consciousness
is about.
of AI.
Yes, sir.
Describe that time, what that time will look like when there's a consciousness.
Governments would have all the power because governments will control these things. What it would look like, the everyday person will be living in a simulation. Every single thing they think they know, they don't really know. It's what they are told to know. Because now we would have machines that we trust, because these machines can make objective decisions that seem like they're making it on your behalf because they care for you. And so governments just need to tap into that and ensure they drive people in a particular direction. So we will then be living in a simulation.
Government all over the world have been looking for control.
Yes. And that's the perfect tool for control.
Do you feel these minds behind these operations trying to get to AGI will be willing to share it with government?
They are already government funded.
Oh, they are government funded?
Yes. Google came about from a branch of I think it was the CIA, but one of the intelligence agencies, yes, is the one that funded Sergey Brin and Larry Page, the original co-founders of Google. So they didn't just fund it then and take their hands off. And since then, it's been the pattern. They fund these things and then watch it. So a lot of the data is shared in real time.
When people troll people online, there are systems with which, whether they use a fake account or a real account, in 5 to 10 minutes, you can know what device they typed from, where they are living, their phone number, their NIN, and everything.
Yes, and that's not even complicated. You just need to ping Instagram or whatever platform they are doing it on. Like, they collect all this data about your device and stuff like that already.
The night Jeffrey Epstein was said to have committed suicide, somebody put something online that he saw a van moving to that place. And the van seemed to move Jeffrey Epstein out, and they brought someone else in.
Oh, wow. Now,
there's been controversies about the body that was presented during the autopsy, and that they are not finding some similarities between the features that Jeffrey Epstein has and this person. Now, when that person did that, when Jeffrey Epstein was said to have died, the government subpoenaed was it Apple, to provide deep details about the person, only for them to find out that the person who typed that and put that out was actually working in that correctional facility where Jeffrey Epstein had been kept. I think that was why the matter even died down. Now, the question is, the phones that we use, the SIM cards that we use, are they government linked? And if they are not, are they under obligation to provide people's data to the government?
To an extent, they are government linked, and yes, to an extent, they actually are under obligation to provide people's data to the government, because again, before you get a lot of these high level, there's a reason why we don't have a lot of telecommunications companies, apart from, yes, how capital intensive it is to set up a telecommunications company. There's also the fact that there are a lot of licenses that, to get these things, there are certain levels of agreements you have to make, with the government, because the government knows that if you allow these things to not be trackable, you would allow a lot of nefarious things to be able to happen. happen, and so they've put in a lot of measures.
So now we use plenty of Western media, TikTok to Facebook to Instagram.
Yeah.
And we as a people, but let's cover Africa generally, we're not so big on data protection.
Yeah.
And China don't allow, they created an alternative for every Western media.
Yes.
Because they feel that the West use the data of their browsing, their whatever it is they are doing online, to build a kind of market that targets their youth or an orientation. How bad is our case in Africa now in respect to disinfringement from all these social media platforms and the fact that everything about us is just there, and they can manipulate everything about this place. They can manipulate the system, the government, the algorithm, everything.
It's terribly bad because if you look at the way they act towards us, the way Trump can, insult an entire nation and things like that, it's not just bad character. It's what they know they have on you.
It's more like when Trump tweets, the whole world sees it. That's Elon Musk.
Yes.
Giving him extra push.
Exactly. The thing is, where we are right now as Africa, is very bad because even the things we think we own, we don't really own them. Even a lot of the things across even what our intelligence agencies do, because we don't manufacture a lot. Like recently, China stopped getting chips for training AIs from the US because they found a link that could be used to spy on them in NVIDIA chips. And so they stopped and they've increased their own production and they're doing really well. Guess what? In Africa, we're not manufacturing any of these things. So if they want to hack us, if they want to spy on us, they will. It's just free for all.
Something happened after one of those world wars. I can't remember whether World War I or World War II. There was a gift that was given to a leader of a nation. I'm trying to remember which leader precisely, by another country. They did all the search, scanned, nothing, no signal is coming from it, nothing, no chip, nothing, just a normal gift. Only for them to find out after about 30 years or thereabout that there was an analog material inside. It's not like a clock, it's like a plaque, something like that.
Yeah, that was being used to.
That could transmit radio information from that place, and that's vibration to them. So practically, they were hearing everything being said in the president's office over there. So this issue of spying,
yes,
I look at it in many ways. It's not just about people's secret out there. It's the control.
Yes, it's more the control, because for an economy to say it is the world's largest and to stay as the world's largest, it needs to control others. Because growth initially is about your nation. After some time, growth now becomes about acquiring other nations, not really physically, but of course with enough influence and power. So for them right now, their growth is no longer at our level. For them to say they are still growing is how much stake they have in other nations. That's actually growth for them. That's how they're measuring.
Do you
growth.
think Africa now has the capacity to create?
I do. I'm a firm believer in the African dream. I'm a firm believer in Nigeria. I do believe.
You're a Ghanaian?
Yes, sir.
But you believe in Nigeria. Ghanaians who are watching this, don't worry. We're borrowing for a while.
I do believe, because there's this funny thing I always say about how corruption did not become what it is today, if not for the fact that there was one person that believed enough in corruption to say that I'm going to be corrupt, I'm going to cut corners. And one person started, the next person,
and it keeps evolving.
Yes. That's the same way integrity can come in. It's not magic. It's just one person standing their ground in one little space and saying, I'm going to do things differently. Next person follows, next person follows, next person follows.
As we speak now, which country in Africa is the best, that is the most tech-friendly country in Africa?
I think it's between Nigeria, Kenya, Rwanda.
No, Rwanda? Right, I was going to go for Rwanda outrightly.
I think it's between Nigeria, Kenya, and Rwanda. They're doing so well. Especially Rwanda. Why I mention Nigeria is because we have a ton of resources. We have a ton of resources, like both human capital. We have
Human capital.
Africa's first tech unicorn was from Nigeria. We even have, I think, up to 3 now. I know Flutterwave is, InterSwitch, and is it Future Africa as well, tech unicorn. So we are doing really well.
You know, recently I was thinking about many things. While no African country, I stand to be corrected, has ever taken the World Cup. Am I correct?
Yes.
But Africans have. Africans in France, Africans in England, Africans in Brazil, Africans in different countries. I was looking at the Grammy recently, the list of people. While I stand to be corrected, apart from Fela Anikulapo Kuti, that received the Lifetime Award, but there were some people who are of Nigerian origins who also received under different categories, but not Nigerian based. So, in respect to technology also, there are Africans who probably, for some reasons, have changed their nationalities and are leading in some profound aspects all over the world. And there are some, because, hey, I'm for Africa. I believe so much in the African dream. I believe that the questions in Africa can only be answered by Africans. I believe that the problems in Africa can only be solved by Africans. I do not think any external person can claim to love you like your people will. I do not think that they can give you a cap without bargaining for your head and take it outrightly if they have to. I really think that the biggest asset in Africa are the people, particularly the young mind. We are the continent with the youngest population in the world. And what that means is that that's the future. But in order to change that, many countries are taking Africans there and getting them, change your nationality. And that puts us really at risk.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of brain drain going on right now. And in respect to this research, in respect to our own data, because we cannot say that the world should respect us if everything about us is in their hands. Let's talk about this. It's mind-boggling.
So right now, and why I'm very infuriated by what you just said now is that technology is the great leveler. With technology, you no longer need permission to be great. I started coding on my phone. That's the thing about technology. It gives you capacity to fly where maybe your parents were not able to.
Yeah.
But we are not using it because we are stuck in the rat race. You see the average person trying to just get a better life. To be where I am today, I had to refuse a lot of jobs that were going to pay me money that I had never seen in my life simply because... As
a doctor?
No, in tech. When I transitioned to tech and I started, growing and doing well, I started to get really good, offers. But I had to refuse them because the job title did not match my experience. It was going to give me way more money, but it was going to affect my mind in a way that I would never be able to think of myself as an owner. And I did not want that. To me, my mind was more important than how much money I was going to be making. And so I had to stand my ground until I could build and build and build. The average person has so much within their grasp. They have a lot of technology. Rather than use that technology to become something valuable that people can now come and, buy from you and stuff like that, they'd rather just go and fit themselves into another person's system and be used any which way. And it's so crazy to me because I don't understand why you have all of this technology, even now with AI. It's so beautiful what the AIs allow us to do. In a second, with your phone, you can build an entire app with a prompt using Google AI Studio or Lovable or any of all these other platforms. In a few seconds, you can do that.
You can build an app?
An entire app, sir, that is functioning
Fully
and launch and
app?
deploy it in minutes.
Launch and deploy?
Yes, sir. You actually can. That's what I did last week.
Where does that put front UI, UX designers and all the...
That's where the question of thought leadership now comes in, because to be useful, you now have to become a thought leader. You cannot just be the regular expert. You have to be able to communicate your expertise in ways that remains valuable, because AIs will continually need information that is unique. If your information is just what's out there, you will not be needed. In fact, what I try to do when I do some masterclasses is that I encourage experts to create their knowledge and information in silos. Have information that you can sell later. Information that it's not on the internet that you can sell later. It's going to be super valuable.
It means you're saying that we should hide some things from digital platforms.
A lot.
And that should be us hiding them from AI.
Yes, sir. A lot.
We should go back to holding books.
A lot. In fact, my research that I do with AIs, I use an offline model. So there's no access to the internet. That's how I run all my stuff. Because I cannot risk it getting out there.
Are you outrightly saying that one of the best things we can do is to go back to holding notes?
Yes, sir. For digital notes. Yes.
For the sake of being able to have those things to ourselves.
Yes, we actually need to create these things in silos. In fact, my best advice for somebody who actually wants to stay in line with tech and still protect their stuff is just, if you can afford it, get a server in your home. So you have your own private server that is not beaming information anywhere else. So you can still store information in the cloud, but it's your cloud. It's your server. You're running your own server. So you're still safe.
But as long as it's in the cloud, it's also an open secret.
No, it's your server. Your server is not communicating to anybody else.
Just you.
Yes.
It takes about more than $50,000 to handle that, to have that yearly. Or
It
more.
depends on the size of the server. They are relatively cheap retail size servers, so you can actually get some for just a few $100s or maybe a few $1,000s. You can get some reasonable servers. So this advice is actually for thought leaders, industry leaders, people who can afford to do it. Keep your information.
I think
on
we're going to
private
do that at
servers.
some point.
As soon as I can afford it, that's what I'm going to do, because
And
I
think we have to store in South Africa or something like that. What was that? There was no storage place in Nigeria to have our own cloud. Yes, I think we had to be working from South Africa or something.
I don't really remember what
I'm trying
that
to
was.
remember what we were trying to do then. It was in respect to our TV.
Okay.
So we needed to be our own hosting platform.
Okay.
Yes. So, which means that we can now, other people that want to have a TV station can now work with us. So we have a cable now.
Okay.
We have our decoder, and then we can host you. We can host TVA, TVB, and all that. I can't remember whether it was the cloud or something that to have our own.
Yeah.
Or the server. I can't remember, but
It will likely be the server. Because
do you think Africa will ever meet up?
Yes, sir. I think and the thing is, because of technology, it does not take time. Technology works very much like the grace of God. You don't need the same time other people took, because with technology, you can do in 10 years what usually would take 100 years. You can. You just need.
If you become the president of a country in Africa for a day, what is your first decision you will make around technology?
Around technology, my first decision would be for everybody to be educated. Like, I would find the barest minimum level of education people need around technology, and I'll just pass that into law that everybody needs to learn this. It doesn't matter your level, whether you even graduated.
Considering where the world is going now, things that artificial intelligence and all that, if there are courses in school if people should no longer study because this will no longer be relevant. Can you list a few?
Okay. Right. So at this point, I don't think people should still be studying clinical medicine, because yes, I don't think people should still be studying clinical medicine, because in a few years' time, we will no longer need clinical medical doctors. That's the truth. Medicine is one of the most structured disciplines in the world.
Yes.
That's why it's also the easiest for AI to take over, because there is data that is already well prepared. Everything is so structured. So it's the easiest because of how organized it is.
Now we are having robots performing surgery.
Yes.
So we might have a case now where you have student doctors who are either learning how to function with the robots or watching the robots do it. We're in trouble.
That's why I don't think clinical medicine should be taken seriously for years to come. Research-based medicine is better.
Can I be honest with you? I feel the future of school is under threat. And I'll tell you why. I think education as we know it now may not survive another 50 years.
Yes, definitely.
Because with things like Neuralink, you can download any information.
Mm-hmm.
I can download anatomy installed. I can download physiology installed. Bulk of what we do in school is memory based. That's our test and our exams.
Yes.
It's not really It's not testing for creativity. It's not testing for innovation. It's testing for the ability to retain something, to retain a knowledge in your mind. I really don't think that's the way to measure intelligence.
It's not. Intelligence, in fact, useful intelligence is multifaceted. And I always ask this question: do they check for IQ tests for our presidents? No, but these people determine the course of life of
Nobody
multiple
want to check
people.
for IQ tests for a president. The powers that be requires that the worst of all people lead you.
Exactly. And I would say I agree that there's no need to check IQ tests, because IQ test is just testing relative intelligence. That is, how intelligent are you amongst this bunch of people? If you're amongst dumb people, your intelligence will actually seem to be higher, because that's how IQ tests are designed.
Yep.
So it's just an average stuff.
Yep.
So that's why I'm now saying the issue of relevant intelligence is that we're testing around things that people actually use and use for success in life, like your ability to communicate, empathy, things around thought leadership, things around your ability to think objectively. These are the things that matter. Because if I'm met with a situation, it's my ability to formulate the problem, my ability to think creatively. That's actually what's going to help me. People who are making the most money and who have made the most impact across generations are people who just think in these interesting ways. We can go from Newton to Heisenberg to all of them. They've always thought in this way. It's very, very crucial that we start to look at intelligence in a multifaceted manner. In fact, Ian LeCun, I think I mentioned him earlier, he's a computer scientist, and he says same thing about even how we're going to eventually build out AGI. He says that we should think about these things as domain-specific intelligence. There's no concepts like general intelligence amongst humans right now. You know, and so why are we testing general intelligence? Why not domain-specific intelligence, relevant intelligence? What's useful in this domain? That's what I think.
Wow. Do you think that even now we're in a simulation?
Well, sort of, but not strict, not in a strict sense. I don't think we are in a simulation in strict sense. I just think that a lot of us have been manipulated, you know. Yes, I think a lot of us have been manipulated, but we've not reached the situation whereby the manipulation is so generalized that it's even difficult to know if you're being manipulated. Right now, if you just take a step back, you can actually tell, but when we hit proper AGI, you wouldn't be able to tell.
What we are up against now is full control.
Yes, sir. And that's why we must get there. See, I believe we can get there first. I sincerely believe. With technology, I don't see limits. I don't believe in limits once I have access to technology. We just need a team of people that actually believe the same thing, because one person cannot do it. It's just not possible.
I think maybe one of the reasons why it will be difficult for us to get there first is because African leaders are not even running the race. You cannot win in a race that you're not running. And we've allowed other continents dictate in the wake of every revolution, industrial revolution we've experienced. We've allowed these other European countries precisely dictate the pace. It's first disrupt, then you recreate, then control. It's been passive, partial for a while. Now we are looking at total. And there we are again. As always, it's like we wait for the world to think for us.
Yeah.
And then sell it to us. Let's benefit from it. It's absurd.
It's crazy. But why I'm a firm believer in what science and technology can do is because look at what entertainment is doing. Without the government, Nigerian's entertainment sector is so amazing. Like, we are winning awards everywhere. Our music is everywhere.
You know what I think about entertainment? I think the DSS, just like the CIA, should sponsor movies. And I'll tell you why. You know, many movies are American CIA sponsored.
Yes.
To sell the American story.
Yes.
The American dream. The reason why you perceive America the way you perceive America today is because they told their stories themselves. They did not just engineer you through schools and through curriculums. They did many educating through movies. They show you America is always a good guy. Russia is always a bad guy. I think Africa needs to understand that through our intelligence agencies,
Yes.
we can sell the African dreams. As a matter of fact, if what's it called now? Our entertainment industries get the funding that it needs, it can actually revitalize our economy.
Oh, yes, it can. It can. Because
Just by pumping that. Yes.
yes, sir, I looked at my screen time and I saw how that, I think it was yesterday or the first day, I spent like 2.5 hours on Instagram, another 2 hours on WhatsApp, and I was just like, oh my goodness. So all of the exposure I have gotten from all of these places, imagine if someone were controlling the things I was
What you
seeing. Imagine how much power over my thoughts they would
Yes.
have. And so what you're saying really flows
yes.
in line with our exposure and how much time we spend on our devices.
We need to sell our own stories.
Yes.
I found myself one time standing in this place in New York, Times Square in New York. And I just wanted to get to Times Square. And there I was in Times Square, looking at the crowd, different people, Chinese, Japanese, and people from all over the world. People making TikTok videos, people doing all those stuff. And I looked around and I was asking myself very honest question. Because sometimes you get what you want, but you don't want what you get. And there I was saying, is this it? This is the Times Square. I look at the street. Anyways, it was raining at that time. The drainage system, some smell. New York is actually congested. And I began to ask myself, what brought me here in the first place? Someone engineered me to go. I
Nice.
saw it in movies. I saw movies and I saw locations. And I'm like, oh, one day I'm going to come here. So I think that if we can begin to leverage on these things, and Africa can tell our own story.
Yes.
Not every time destroying our people, destroying our legacy, destroying ourselves. If we can tell our own stories without having to compare, we can actually, I think that the nations that will be leading tomorrow will have to take hold of AI now, will have to also take hold of narratives.
Yes.
We have to just tell our stories.
We do. And I think one of the most important people for telling our stories are actually thought leaders. Because in the end, if an Aproko doctor says something about medicine that may not be correct, the amount of people that will be influenced by that, because he's actually a medical doctor. He's not just a regular influencer.
Yeah.
He actually is a medical doctor. So if maybe he makes
It's probably
a mistake,
one of the most influential doctors we have now.
yes. So if he makes just a little mistake, the amount of people who could die from that. So he knows the amount of weight on his shoulders. Imagine if we had state-sponsored thought leaders. So people who are sponsored to communicate their expertise.
State-sponsored thought leaders will be very dangerous because they could be used to get state motives and agendas done.
That's correct, sir. However, they will not be able to lie against the science or the art or whatever it is that their craft is, because they can be judged based on that. Their reputation is on the line. That's the interesting thing about being a thought leader, not just being a regular influencer. If you're a thought leader, your academic or whatever field it is that you're a thought leader in, your reputation is on the line. So no matter what the state tells you to do, the science still has to check out. The law has to check out. Whatever field you are in has to check out.
Do you really think that people that have that level of moral to consider all those things?
No, sadly. Sadly, no, I don't think. So maybe not state-sponsored. Maybe we can do ourselves. Because I believe in the power of thought leadership. That's what has shaped every century so far. Thought leadership. People who are leading voices but are also experts in their field.
It is important that they're independent voices.
Yes, it's actually important.
For there to be unbiased judgment. Such a, how do I call it now? So excited speaking with you about artificial intelligence.
Thank you.
Anyways, you seem to come from the positivity side, and maybe we're able to see together some blurry lines that people need to look critically into. And but just before I let you go, let's talk about this in respect to job creation.
Okay.
First, you started, and I want to finish what you started. The jobs that are now under threat because of artificial intelligence. List them and give reasons why.
Okay.
And then what people should be looking into if they are going to do well in the years to come through AI.
So I would say there are a lot of jobs. So maybe I'll cap it by saying jobs that don't give you opportunity for research. Because if there's no research, there cannot be original intelligence. And if there's no original intelligence, AI will just kick you out. Wow. So that's how I see it.
It will overtake you and throw you out.
Yes. So any job, any career path that does not give you room for research.
We're looking at photography going into extinction. Except that you capture AI edit. And AI can put you in any background with a prompt.
Yes.
What about video editing?
I think that too. That too, to an extent. We can give that maybe 3 to 5 years.
It's going.
Yes. There's a lot of things that will go. Because any area that you really cannot do, you cannot create original knowledge, it's at risk. So that's why I would even prefer things like art, because people value originality with art. People value creativity, even though we know AI can do that. Even though it seems like that's the one that is under the most threat right now, I still believe it is one of the areas that if you're doing well at, you actually can still continue to thrive in the future.
Your art. Like singing?
Singing, visual arts.
With a prompt, I can have a full movie produced. To get the character, get everything. So art itself is under threat. I think maybe the kind of art that may not be threatened yet, probably for those who have eyes for it, is fine art.
Yes, fine art is way up there.
Not because there are no digital images, of course, but people want to see what is original. You want to see artwork that is alive. So generally with other jobs, I know I mentioned things that allow research and original knowledge, but there's also the concern of, even in some jobs that you can, like video editing and the rest, I believe if you still become a thought leader in that field, you will be relevant. However, how many thought leaders can you have? You have to make sure that your voice is heard, you know your craft.
Yes. So
you have some control.
Race to expertise. But when you hit expertise, then you have to communicate your expertise. But
about those doing it also learning to write. If we see AI as a chariot, what about riding on it now?
Right. Interesting. So every field you need to be able to use AI to do these things. But then because of how AI is fast evolving, in another decade, it may not need a rider. That's the interesting thing. So because of how fast it's moving. So we need to look at it from a concerted perspective. And there's this thing to consider before I, close up. When you're learning to become an expert, usually you learn faster because you can get a job and you're trained. AI has erased most entry-level roles in most industries.
True.
So how do you get the first job to enter the path towards expertise? That's the problem. I think that's one of the biggest issues right now. It has erased most entry-level jobs. I don't need an entry-level writer again. I don't need an entry-level graphics designer. I don't need an entry-level video editor. You no longer need entry-level jobs.
Because with AI, everything is just done.
Yes. So now you need mostly mid-level and expert level. Soon it will erase mid-level and then it's coming for experts next.
I want to thank you for coming here with me.
Thank you so very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you
for having me.